9 months ago, I became mom to a beautiful baby girl, and she loves books. If you hand her a toy and a book, she'll probably pick the book. And it made me really happy because I like telling stories. So I thought I can write a bunch of stories for her that is inspired from my childhood and the stories that my grandmother told me. I wrote the first one. It's called Little Miss Mischievous Shares Unniyappam. Unniyappam is a sweet snack you'll typically find in the southern part of India. After writing the story, I shared it with my husband. He encouraged me to use AI to visualize the story. I tried Google's Nano Banana, the image model, to create some images, and it looked pretty good. So I thought I can convert the story to a picture book and print it and give it to her. I don't have to wait for her to grow up to understand what I wrote. I was really excited. This is going to be my first AI project for my baby. But for some reason, I could not start. I was having all these thoughts in my mind that if I use AI for this project, this is not going to be my story, and I'm going to become a bad storyteller. And above all, this is going to ruin the connection between me and my baby. And this is not the first time I'm using AI for a project. I use it almost every day for work and other things. But for this particular project, which is very close to my heart, I was hesitant. I tried to find the belief that is triggering all these thoughts in my mind. Inauthentic was the word that was echoing in my ears. I'm being an inauthentic mother to my daughter. There was a lot of anxiety and resistance. And I think the resistance I felt in my living room is not very different from what is felt by thousands of employees in organizations that are adapting AI. So, why do people resist AI? Every human being has three basic needs to be met at the workplace: need for autonomy, competence, and relatedness. And AI threatens all three. If AI is going to take all the decision, then I feel powerless. If AI is going to do my job better than me, then I feel useless. And if AI is going to replace all my colleagues with a bunch of chatbots, then I feel alone. So the resistance is expected and is normal. You can see that in the data. AI projects are 2 times harder to implement compared to traditional IT projects, and almost half of them don't even go beyond the proof of concept stage. Many organizations who have adopted AI successfully are now hiring humans back to the system. And the problem is not bad technology. I think AI is really good in what it does, and it's getting better every day. The problem is wrong focus. Research shows that 70% of the focus for AI adoption work should go to people and process, and yet leaders are treating it as a technical change. So, what is a technical change? Technical change is a type of change where your end goal or solution is pretty well defined, and the steps to reach that goal is also well established. An expert with the right training just need to come and execute that. It's like changing the tire of a car. But there's another type of change called adaptive change that requires people to change their beliefs and identity. To understand this, think about a person who has this weird fear that they're going to meet with an accident if they ever drive a car. If you have to make this person drive a car, well, there is a technical component to it, like he has to learn to drive the car. But the most challenging part will be to change the fear that I am not safe. If you don't address that, he is going to resist. And that is the biggest mistake leaders are making today, that meeting adaptive problems with technical solutions. So, how do we remove this resistance? Well, I can share what I did with my little project. Remember the big assumption that was stopping me from adopting AI for the project, that I am an inauthentic mother? I decided to test that in the real world. What I did was I created more and more images using AI, and I became very comfortable looking at those images on the screen. I made sure that the prompts that I used to generate those images reflected my ideas and my thoughts. how the characters look, how the characters are placed in the scene, the background, everything was my childhood memory. I converted these images slowly to an e-book, a digital book, and I started sharing it with people. Obviously, I started with safe people like my husband who will not be critical. And then I expanded the audience, shared it with our nanny, friends, family. I also shared it in a Penn classroom. And I started collecting data to show whether my big assumption is true or not. And I did not find any data to show the big assumption is true, and I found plenty to show it's probably not true. At the same time, I also tried to find the opposite of my big belief, that is, I am an authentic mother, data to prove that the opposite of my belief is true. And I did not limit myself to just this project, but I collected data from all areas of my life, and I got plenty of evidence to show that probably that belief is true, that I am an authentic mother. And what I noticed is that my big assumption became smaller. The method I explained over here is actually adapted from Dr. Robert Keegan's Immunity to Change and Narrative Coaching. With this method, I was able to publish or print the book for my baby, and she enjoys it now. This particular method by Robert Keegan can be used to change beliefs that people held for lifelong and to change or remove the resistance for change. This can be applied with individuals and teams. When you're working with teams, you typically work with the collective belief of the team. And I think this method should be used for AI adoption, especially in the beginning and especially if there is resistance. Because remember, AI adoption is not a technology problem, but a people problem. So next time, when you're planning to adopt AI, and if your team is resisting, before you invest in anything else, maybe ask this question to your team. When we adopt AI, what are we scared of losing about ourselves? Thank you.